In a world where knowledge burns and truth becomes ash, one man stands at the precipice of awakening, his journey revealing the fragility of a society built on controlled ignorance and the power of human connection to ignite change. This is the story of Fahrenheit 451, Ray Bradbury's haunting vision of a future that grows more relevant with each passing year, where literacy is criminalized and intellectual thought systematically extinguished from the collective consciousness of humanity. A cautionary tale that forces us to examine our relationship with technology, information, and our capacity for critical thinking. As we follow Guy Montag through the flames of destruction toward the embers of rebellion, we witness how small moments of authentic human connection can spark profound transformation even in the most carefully constructed systems of control. This exploration of censorship, conformity, and the human spirit invites us to consider what we risk losing when we surrender our intellectual freedom for the promise of happiness without complexity, comfort without challenge, and entertainment without depth. This video was powered by the AI Pandora.io. In the dystopian world of Fahrenheit 451, we meet Guy Montag, a fireman whose job is not to extinguish flames but to create them, a stark inversion of what we understand firemen to be in our society. The opening scene captures Montag in his element, reveling in the destruction of books with a disturbing sense of pleasure and purpose. His brass nozzle sprays kerosene, transforming literature into ashes. And in this act, we witness not just physical destruction, but the systematic erasure of ideas, history, and human expression. Montag stands as both participant and conductor in this burning symphony. His numbered helmet, marking him as part of a system designed to control knowledge and therefore control people. The imagery of fire dominates this world, representing both destruction and purification in the eyes of the authorities. When Montag ignites a house, the flames consume everything in their path, creating a spectacle of colors against the evening sky. This visual feast of destruction highlights how censorship has been transformed into entertainment, making the public complicit in their own intellectual imprisonment. The books, described as pigeon-winged, take flight only to perish, symbolizing the fragility of knowledge when faced with deliberate ignorance and force. In this world, books have become the enemy, dangerous objects that must be eliminated to maintain social order, reflecting historical patterns of censorship from Nazi book burnings to various forms of thought control throughout human history. The protagonist's relationship with fire reveals much about his character. Montag grins with the fierce satisfaction of someone who believes in his work, the smile becoming a permanent fixture on his face even as he sleeps. This persistent smile suggests an inner conflict beginning to emerge, a mask he wears that has become part of his identity. His routine at the firehouse shows a man comfortable in his role, from the careful maintenance of his equipment to his casual whistling as he moves through this environment. The fire station itself serves as a symbol of inverted values, a place where destruction is organized with military precision, and where the fire pole, traditionally representing quick response to emergencies, instead facilitates rapid deployment of censorship forces. Technology in this society has evolved to create efficiency without thought, seen in the silent subway that moves passengers without effort or engagement. The cream-tiled escalator that wafts Montag upward represents how citizens are passively carried along by the systems of their society, rarely questioning or exerting individual will. This passive relationship with technology reflects contemporary concerns about automation reducing human agency and critical thinking, making Bradbury's vision increasingly relevant in our digital age, where information is curated and filtered by algorithms designed to maintain attention rather than foster understanding. The most intriguing development occurs as Montag approaches his home, experiencing a vague but persistent sense that someone has been present just moments before he arrives. This subtle environmental change, perhaps detected through scent or temperature, signals the introduction of a catalyst character who will disrupt Montag's comfortable existence. His slowing pace and heightened awareness indicate an awakening consciousness, a man beginning to notice what previously passed beneath his attention. This moment represents the first crack in the foundation of his certainty, the beginning of questioning in a society built on unquestioning conformity. The contrast between Montag's mechanical professional life and this new awareness creates tension that propels the narrative forward. We see a man whose inner thoughts are beginning to diverge from his external actions, suggesting an emerging personality independent of his socially assigned role. This psychological journey mirrors the broader themes of the novel, the tension between conformity and individuality. Between acceptance and questioning, the sidewalk represents his path in life, previously straight and predictable, now becoming uncertain as new possibilities emerge just beyond his peripheral vision. Each step Montag takes brings him closer to confrontation with ideas that will challenge everything he has accepted as truth. In this pivotal scene, we witness a rare moment of genuine human connection amid a society that has lost touch with deeper meaning, as Montag encounters Clarisse in the soft glow of evening light. Her face illuminated not by the harsh electric lights that dominate their world, but by something gentler and more profound, something that stirs a distant memory within him. A memory of candlelight during a power outage from his childhood, when he and his mother experienced a brief hour of rediscovery, when space lost its vastness and drew comfortably around them. This memory representing one of the few authentic experiences in Montag's life before meeting Clarisse, showing us how rare genuine human connection has become in this society, how technology has created distance rather than closeness between people. The conversation takes an unexpected turn when Clarisse asks Montag about his work as a fireman, revealing the dystopian reality that in this world firemen don't extinguish fires, but instead burn books. With Montag casually explaining their schedule, Monday burn Millet, Wednesday Whitman, Friday Faulkner, burn them to ashes, then burn the ashes. A methodical destruction of knowledge and ideas that represents the systematic censorship happening in this society, where the works of poets and novelists are reduced to ash, their ideas deemed dangerous by those in power who fear the questioning and independent thought that literature inspires. This casual mention of burning famous authors shows how normalized censorship has become, how Montag has internalized the destruction of knowledge as simply his job, something he does without questioning its deeper implications for society. When Clarisse mentions that firemen once put out fires instead of starting them, Montag's immediate dismissal reveals the effectiveness of historical revisionism in their society. He genuinely believes houses have always been fireproof, showing how completely the truth has been erased and replaced with convenient lies. His laughter at her suggestion demonstrates his conditioning, his inability to consider alternative perspectives or question official narratives. Similar to how modern societies can rewrite or selectively teach history to serve current power structures, with information control serving as a powerful tool for maintaining the status quo, preventing people from learning from past mistakes or imagining different social arrangements. The symbol of fire appears throughout this exchange, traditionally representing both destruction and illumination. In Bradbury's world, fire has been corrupted from its potential to illuminate minds through knowledge to being solely a tool for destruction and censorship. This transformation of fire's meaning parallels how other aspects of society have been stripped of depth and meaning. simplified to serve the interests of control and conformity. Just as Montag's profession has been inverted from preservation to destruction, we see how symbols and institutions can be co-opted to serve purposes opposed to their original intent, a warning about how easily meaning can be manipulated to satisfy the demands of power rather than truth. Clarisse's observations about drivers not truly seeing the world around them provides a powerful metaphor for the citizens in this society, rushing through life without truly experiencing or questioning it. Her comment that drivers see only blurs of color rather than the actual grass, flowers, houses, and cows reveals how disconnection from the natural world corresponds to a disconnection from authentic human experience. The acceleration of society has led to a kind of perceptual blindness, where people no longer have the capacity to notice detail or experience beauty, resulting in billboards being stretched to accommodate faster cars, a symbol of how everything in their culture has been adapted to speed and convenience rather than depth and meaning, sacrificing genuine experience for efficiency and entertainment. Montag's discomfort with Clarisse's observations and questions reveals his internal conflict, as her perspective challenges the foundations of his worldview. His abrupt laugh and comment about dew on the grass in the morning shows his attempt to participate in her way of seeing, yet his uncertainty about whether he actually knew this fact himself reveals how disconnected he has become from the natural world and his own observations. His irritability signals the beginning of his awakening, as Clarisse has planted seeds of doubt that will grow throughout the novel, highlighting how threatening genuine curiosity can be to a system built on unquestioning acceptance. How simple observations of reality can disrupt carefully constructed illusions. The contrast between the darkness of their walk and the blazing lights of Clarisse's home symbolizes the difference between their families. While most homes in this society are illuminated by the glow of wall-sized televisions projecting mindless entertainment, her home glows with the light of human conversation and connection. When Montag asks what they talk about, he reveals his unfamiliarity with genuine discourse, suggesting that in his world, conversation has been replaced by passive consumption of media. Conversations with real content have become rare enough to be considered peculiar, showing how technology has replaced human connection rather than enhancing it, a warning that resonates strongly in our own media-saturated environment, where meaningful face-to-face interaction increasingly gives way to digital distraction. Clarisse's final question to Montag, "Are you happy?" serves as the catalyst for his transformation throughout the novel. It's a simple question that penetrates to the heart of his existence, one he has never considered before meeting her. This moment represents the power of questioning that makes books so dangerous in this society, as a single thoughtful question can disrupt years of conditioning and complacency, beginning Montag's journey toward awareness and rebellion, showing how even in the most controlled environments, the human desire for meaning and connection cannot be completely extinguished, that beneath the entertainment and distraction lies a hunger for authentic experience that remains part of our fundamental nature. Bradbury's world serves as a warning about the dangers of intellectual simplification and the rejection of complex thought in our contemporary society, where information is plentiful but deep reading and critical thinking appear endangered. This warning resonates with particular urgency. The visual imagery of these scenes would be powerful on screen. The hypnotic dance of flames, the mechanical precision of the fire station, the sterile modernism of the subway, the darkened street corner where Clarisse waits to change everything. These contrasts between fire and shadow, between certainty and doubt, create a visual language that amplifies the thematic concerns of the text. inviting viewers to consider how their own relationship with information and technology might be shaping their capacity for independent thought. The historical context of Fahrenheit 451, written during the height of McCarthyism when intellectual freedom faced serious threats, reminds us that censorship often begins with the best intentions. The fictional society justified book burning as a path to happiness and equality, eliminating the contradictions and complexities that cause social discord. This rationalization mirrors real-world censorship movements that promise safety and harmony through controlled information. As viewers, we might recognize similar patterns in modern debates about content moderation, trigger warnings, and information bubbles that protect us from challenging ideas, but may simultaneously limit our intellectual growth and our ability to navigate complex realities. The relationship between Montag and Clarisse demonstrates how encounters with different perspectives can transform us, how conversation with someone who truly sees the world can awaken our own capacity for observation and questioning. In our modern context, where people increasingly exist in information bubbles that reinforce existing beliefs, this scene reminds us of the value of engaging with different viewpoints, of allowing ourselves to be challenged by fresh perspectives, showing that growth often begins with discomfort, with questions that disturb our settled assumptions about ourselves and the world, revealing that the path to authentic living requires courage to face complexity rather than seeking refuge in comfortable simplifications. Montag's internal experience reveals the psychological cost of participating in systematic oppression. His fierce grin and the smile that never leaves his face, even in sleep, suggest a man who has created psychological armor to protect himself from fully confronting the nature of his work. This defense mechanism allows him to function within a morally compromised system while preserving some sense of personal worth. Many people in oppressive systems develop similar protective psychological adaptations, making Montag's experience universally relatable despite the dystopian setting. His journey toward awakening consciousness reminds us of our own potential blindness to the systems we participate in, challenging us to examine how we might be complicit in structures that diminish human potential or restrict the free exchange of ideas. Throughout these scenes, Bradbury crafts a powerful commentary on the dangers of sacrificing depth for speed, meaningful connection for entertainment, and critical thinking for conformity. The image of Montag standing before Clarisse's illuminated home, confronted with a way of living he barely comprehends, mirrors our own society's struggle to maintain human connection and meaning in an increasingly digital and distracted world, reminding us that the questions raised in Fahrenheit 451 about what we value, what we preserve, and what we allow to be destroyed remain urgently relevant today. As we navigate our own relationship with technology, information, and human connection in a rapidly changing world, as we contemplate the world of Fahrenheit 451, we are invited to consider our own relationship with knowledge and truth, to question how much of our identity is shaped by systems designed to maintain comfort at the expense of growth, to examine whether we too pass through life at speeds that prevent genuine observation and connection. Montag's journey reminds us that awakening often begins with simple questions, with moments of genuine human connection that pierce through the distractions and entertainments designed to keep us complacent. In a world increasingly defined by information abundance yet attention scarcity, perhaps the most radical act is to slow down, to notice, to engage deeply with ideas that challenge us, to preserve spaces for conversation that extends beyond surface pleasantries, to defend the right to be uncomfortable with complexity rather than soothed by simplification. For in those challenges lie the seeds of our humanity, our capacity for growth, and our potential for meaningful connection with ourselves and others. This video was powered by the AI Pandora.io.